So, good afternoon. My name is Zanelle Brown, and on behalf of the Detroit Bar Association and the Third Circuit Court, I want to thank you for joining us. Today, we're having a virtual celebration and recognition for our judges who are retiring. My goal is to give you a little brief information about the judges, then have the judges who are retiring share some words of wisdom for those who they're leaving behind, and then open the floor for those who are here attending for them to share their well wishes as well. So let me start with just some brief introductions. First of all, I want to note that Judge Shalinsky, who isn't here, is retiring, and I wanted to share a little bit about Judge Shalinsky. He's been with the Circuit Court. He started in 1990. He's handled everything from traffic misdemeanors, landlord tenants, homicides, class actions. He's also, guess what, a licensed air pilot. Didn't know that about him. He also played hockey when he was in college. He served in our military, and he's been married 43 years. He says he has various charities and civic organizations that he finds dear to his heart, and he has a bowling average of 187. He leaves his remarks and he says that he will miss very much the staff and friends that he's made throughout the system. Our next judge is Judge David Groner. Judge Groner started with the Third Circuit Court in, I don't see my year. He had served over in criminal for 14 years before he came over to our civil docket in 2017. And then, as you know, he was then appointed to our business court. He earned his Juris Doctorate in 1985 from the University of Detroit Mercy. He was an evening law school student at that time while he was working full time as a court clerk in the Sixth Circuit for Judge James Thorburn. Judge Groner has a BA in history from the University of Michigan. When he was appointed to the business court, Judge Groner said, I am honored to be appointed to by the Michigan Supreme Court to serve as a business court judge and the Third Judicial Circuit. I look forward to this new opportunity to serve the needs of the business community in Wayne County. And then, who will be joining us lately, a little later on, will be Judge Thomas M.J. Hathaway. He was elected in November 2006. Let me try that one again. 2016, and he's assigned to our criminal division. Judge Hathaway practiced as a trial attorney for over 40 years in a national law practice, and he covered issues concerning constitutional law, employment law, corporate business, and admiralty matters. He's a graduate of Detroit Central High School, Catholic Central High School. He attended the College of Holy Cross and Vanderbilt University School of Law. Among the many things he's involved in the Michigan Standing Committee on Character and Fitness and is a contributor to the Employment Discrimination Laws report that's put out as well. He's a fellow of the Michigan State Bar Foundation. He was admitted to the U.S. Supreme Court and U.S. Court of Appeals for the 6th, 10th, and 11th circuits. He's also part of the Michigan Judges Association's Criminal Law Committee. He has been voted to Best Lawyers in America, Michigan Super Lawyers, and the Chamber USA Leading Individuals. Again, Judge Thomas Hathaway will join us shortly. Now, let's talk about Judge John A. Murphy. Judge Murphy currently sits in our civil division. He is, I think it's been confirmed, the longest serving judge in the court and in the state of Michigan. His judicial career began in 1978 when he was elected to the Court of Common Pleas. When the Court of Common Pleas was eliminated, Judge Murphy then was grandfathered into the 36th District Court. He served in the 36th District prior to his move to the Madison Center location. And he had courtrooms that were located in the old county building where misdemeanors were heard in the basement of Recorder's Court, room G1. Judge Murphy was one of the early African Americans elected to the Third Circuit Court. His term began in 1986, prior to the Recorder's Court and Third Circuit Court merger, and prior to the creation of Business Court. So therefore, he had the opportunity to hear all types of cases. He's also served as a presiding judge on the Civil Division, both under Chief Judge Giovanni and Chief Judge Virgil Smith. Judge Murphy states that having a good reputation is probably one of the most important things that a lawyer can do. You can't shake a bad business reputation. You want to be known for being prepared, hardworking, and taking care of business. And finally, we have today before us Chief Judge Timothy M. Kinney. Judge Kinney has been on the bench for 25 years. He currently serves as our Chief Judge of the Third Circuit Court. And he's basically been our leader throughout this COVID pandemic, making sure that we as the court staff and the public and the private bar and everyone else who comes through our doors remain safe. Before becoming a judge, Judge Kinney served 9 years. I'm sorry, before becoming our chief judge, Judge Kinney served 9 years as a presiding judge of the criminal division. In 2010, Judge Kinney was selected as one of Michigan leaders in the law by the Michigan Lawyers Weekly. In 2011, he received the Pioneer of Justice Award from the Legal Aid and Defenders Association. Judge Kinney also serves on the board of the Detroit Bar Association. Before becoming a judge, he was 20 years as an assistant prosecutor. During his tenure in the prosecutor's office, he served as the chief trial attorney and special U.S. attorney. During his service as a prosecuting attorney, Judge Kinney also received numerous awards there, including the Leonard Gilman Award from the Federal Bar Association. Judge Kinney is a graduate of the University of Michigan and the University of Minnesota Law School. So I've shared a very little brief overview about the judges who are retiring from the Third Circuit Court. Now I'm going to ask those judges to share some of their best memories and their pearls of wisdom before they leave the circuit court. And I want to start with you, Judge Groner.
Okay. How much time do I have?
We don't have a time limit, but we do plan on ending at 1:30.
All right. Well, I usually start off. Yeah, I usually start off with a few jokes when I have lawyers on my record, but no, I don't know if anyone's billing right now, so I don't want to delay this too long. But so what can I say? It's been a distinct pleasure. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's here. There's a lot of people on today, and it's really nice of everyone to show up here. And you know, it's a tough time for a lot of us. I had a personal tragedy and trying to work through it. But anyway, it's been a great 19 years. I've loved every minute of it. Many of you have been in front of me. Most of you have enjoyed the experience. Some haven't, but it's just been a great learning experience. And as I've always remember, it's the lawyers that teach the judges, right? So we always can learn more. And I've always felt that the lawyers have taught me so much in all the different divisions I've been in. It's been a pleasure to serve. It's tough to leave, and you know, hopefully everything will be good and we'll all stay healthy and I'll be happy. But I will miss the lawyers, that's for sure. And I've made friends in all the divisions: prosecutors, defense lawyers, civil lawyers, business lawyers. How about all the people at Frank Murphy that I'm friends with that aren't lawyers? How about all the staff? How about all the deputies? It's just, we all become a family and we all work together. And I've known Judge Kinney for my whole judicial career, even before he was a judge and I was a judge. Tim was a prosecutor and was one of the best, if not the best prosecutor that ever walked the halls of Frank Murphy. So we've all kind of, you know, moved on to great careers. And it's like when I told Tim I was leaving the bench, he says, well, at least you're leaving because you want to leave, not because you have to. And, you know, unfortunately, I could have run one more time, but I thought now is the time to make the move because of this draconian law of 70, which has to be changed. So all you young judges out there and all you lawyers that want to be judges, you know, think about that. We're the only state in the union, I think, that has a 70-year-old rule. So without getting too far afield, I just wanted to thank everybody for their support and for being friends and for wishing me good luck. And I just wish everyone good health and good luck. And I think it's the best court in the country. I've seen all these different lawyers in different divisions and everyone from administration down. We really have done a great job here, and I've learned so much from so many people. So with that, I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to speak to you, and I hope to see you all soon at social gatherings or whatever comes our way. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Judge Groner. And please feel free if you're attending, put your well wishes into the chat. And also we'll, do where you can come off and unmute yourself after each judge has an opportunity to say their parting words to us. I believe Judge Thomas has signed in. I'm sorry, Judge Hathaway. Judge Thomas Hathaway, have you signed in? Okay, I'll check back. Judge Murphy, would you go next, please? What's your words of wisdom for us?
Okay, thank you so much. I wouldn't say they're words of wisdom, but they are some reflections on my tenure on the court. I had the pleasure of being elected way back in 1978, a long time ago. And I can recall my first day on the bench. And that was in the Lafayette building, just above the Coney Islands. And my first day on the bench was in the landlord tenant division of the Common Pleas Court. And that was an experience. Back in those days, newly elected judges would have to serve their time in the landlord tenant division before they could move on to the civil cases, regular civil cases. And we had to serve, at least I did, 6 months. My first 6 months on the bench was in the landlord and tenant division of that court. And I had a very interesting baptism into the judicial system. I had a lot of experiences with the landlords and the tenants, and we heard everything. And I enjoyed most of it. We had to do 6 months over there. And by the time we were getting toward the end of that 6 month term, that's when I noticed my eyes starting to twitch a little bit because I knew the end was coming. But we left there and went over to the city county building. And interestingly enough, I was transferred to courtroom 921. And I believe that is the same courtroom that I'm in right now. So I've started my career in 79 in the same courtroom that I'm ending my career, which is kind of interesting. In terms of, excuse me, in terms of thoughts that I have for new lawyers that perhaps are listening or viewing this, I'll tell you basically what some senior judge told me. Three most important qualities of a good judge would be patience, patience, and patience. Remember where you started off. Remember your level of expertise or lack thereof when you started off. And when you see a young lawyer coming in and they're trying to make it through a simple matter and having difficulty in doing it, and you have a busy docket and you want to get through it, be patient with these lawyers that are just starting off and may not have the expertise that you would want them to have to get through a particular type of case. Remember that, remember where you started. Also, I would like to say that it's been a pleasure working here at the court, all the courts that I've been on, district court, common pleas court, and here now at the circuit court. The staff has been fantastic. Mrs. Brown has worked with me and helped me out a substantial amount. I recall a number of individuals here in the circuit court that went above and beyond showing me the ropes when I first was assigned here. I remember having some real nice conversations with Elizabeth Kokob. She was very helpful in my transition from the district court to the circuit court. Very helpful, very helpful. And I'd like to thank her for all of her work and getting my feet wet in terms of what I had to go through in terms of getting up to speed. For my successor judges that are coming after me, maybe the judge that will be taking over my docket, It's a difficult docket. It's difficult. We have a substantial number of cases that unfortunately are backlogged. And so the new judge coming on board will have their hands full. As you know, we had the pandemic problem for the last couple of years. Cases were, we could not have live proceedings. And as a result, we're still working on trying to whittle down that backlog of cases. It's going to be real hard now that we're going back into live in the courtroom. So be patient. We'll get through it. If you need any assistance on my part, I'd be more than happy to help out or provide you with any kind of service that I can provide once you get on board, especially those judges who are going to be on the civil division. You'll have your hands full, and so just get ready. I guess that's about it, Zanelle, and you can let the next judge put their 2 cents in.
Thank you so much, Judge Murphy. Again, if you're on, please leave something in the chat with the well wishes. And I believe Judge Thomas M.J. Hathaway has joined us. Judge Hathaway, would you like to say a few parting words?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you and we can see you. Go for
Okay,
it.
there you go. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a computer that has a camera here in my chambers, and I don't want to go on it on the courtroom because I still have a gallery full of attorneys and parties that are here. But thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to hear people thank the departing judges and also give us an opportunity to basically say a few words as we transition. In my case, I practiced for 44 years before I ran for office. And after 44 years practicing law, I figured I had probably done enough in terms of litigation, depositions, trials. I had trials all over the country. I had 2 in Europe, as it turns out. I was fortunate to have a tremendous personal private practice. I was surrounded by very, very talented attorneys and support staff. And I had an opportunity to appear in front of judges all over America, as well as throughout Michigan. And at the point that 2016 rolled around, there were a number of vacancies that were coming up in the Wayne Circuit bench. And I thought, boy, this is a chance to do public service. If I were to be elected, I ran. I was fortunate to get the voters of Wayne County to support my candidacy. And I was elected, took office in 2017. And I can tell you this, having spent 44 years as a civil trial attorney, I was surprised when Chief Judge Colombo, who had been an associate of mine when I was a partner at Riley and Bromell, where he worked before he was elected, called me up and said, "Tom, do you want to know where you're going to be assigned?" I said, "Absolutely." He said, "Come on over and I'll tell you." I figured, well, this isn't a good sign. I show up and he says, "Tom, we all know that you're an excellent civil attorney, but we have an opening in criminal and you have no seniority, so that's where you're going." So I said, "Bob, I've only done criminal work for pro bono, for district court things." And he goes, "Well, you'll learn how to do circuit court criminal law." And the truth of the matter is, I didn't expect to go to the criminal docket, but having served on this docket now for the last 6 years, I'm at the right spot. I'm where I should be. This is where I can really try to make a difference and to give back and to try to help people. The people that appear in front of all the judges here in Frank Murphy on a daily basis, everybody's charged with a crime, and the ones that get convicted come back as violators. So they are people that have committed crimes, but there are so many backstories for each and every one of these people. And I know that the judges here try to do their best when somebody is convicted and given probation as opposed to incarceration, to try to help that person turn themselves around, to be a productive member of society and leave a legacy of their life that's different than where they are when they first encounter us. So even though I longed for work on the civil side, as time went on, I said, I've been blessed to come here. And I would say that as I heard Judge Murphy talk, and I apologize for being late because my docket is still going. It has been difficult. These COVID years have changed everything for us and for everybody that works here, and for all of the people that show up as witnesses as well as defendants. So it has been a struggle, but again, it's well worth the struggle to do what we do here on a daily basis. We're protecting not only the community, but we're also helping those that come before us to turn their life around. So I want to thank the Detroit Bar Association. I'm a former president of that august organization, and I appreciate the fact that they've worked with Ms. Brown to put this program on to allow us a few words. And so I say thank you very much for the opportunity to do public service and to do it on the criminal bench in Wayne County.
Thank you so much, Judge Hathaway. Again, well wishes, please put them in the chat. And Chief Judge Kenny, I'm now turning it over to you.
Well, thank you, Zanelle. And first, let me extend my thanks as well to the Detroit Bar Association for giving us this very kind opportunity to see some of you. It's always better seeing you in 3-dimension, but we'll take it here on Zoom. I know I'm dating myself, but it sort of looks like a giant Hollywood Squares kind of situation here when we see everybody on the screen. But we are certainly thankful for this. And it's been a pleasure for me and a privilege to work with my colleagues who are retiring. There's a lot of wisdom and a lot of wonderful service that is leaving in a couple of weeks. Just a couple of comments that I would like to make is, as I'm sure you can imagine, this was sort of a heck of a time to become chief judge, right? When we'll roll you out a little pandemic to have to deal with. But I think that there are any number of things that have turned out to be benefits for us. I think that we got a giant rocket boost, if you will, in terms of using technology to better serve the public and also help serve your clients as well. And for many attorneys, I think being able to do things by Zoom enabled you to expand your practice a little bit in terms of being able to get to other courtrooms. Also, from my perspective, I think that the COVID crisis that we had to face and forcing us to use technology has really helped us improve access to justice in very much of an action way. In some divisions more than others, of course. Some divisions like the criminal division where defendants have the absolute right to be present. Zoom was, I think, perhaps filled with more frustrations than benefits, but I think for those particularly in the family division or friend of the court matters, there was a wonderful opportunity to allow self-represented people to be able to appear without some great economic hardship. I do want to say too, I really am proud of how our bar has responded to the COVID circumstance. We all learned, some of us being dragged kicking and screaming as to how to use technology. All of us have, as my mother used to say, have to pack our patience sometimes when we're having Zoom hearings. Some of attorneys got used to having to tell me, Judge, you're on mute. You need to unmute yourself. But that was something we all had to learn to live with. But we did adapt, and we did respond. There's a backlog. There's no question about that. And we are getting through that backlog, and it's calling on all of us to be creative and adaptable. And I think we'll continue to do that. And we've got a lot of other new paths that we're going down, how we balance remote work with work in person. I mean, certainly we are social beings, and all of us as judges love having the attorneys in the courtroom and being able to interact with them. But I think there's a new normal that we have ahead of us. But I do think, especially in these divisive times, it's critically important for us as a court and for us as attorneys to maintain the high level of professionalism and civility that really earmarks us for the excellent institution that we are. It's been my privilege to serve as a judge, best job I ever had. And I also want to say I've been very blessed to have a fine staff here in court administration. And also I've had wonderful court staffs in the different divisions that I've worked in. And I'm going to miss the in-person interactions with you, but I wish all of you not only a great holiday season, but wish you all the best going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you to all the judges. We as a community are deeply indebted to you. Thank you for your services. And now I want to turn it over so those who are attending can say words too. I would like to start if Judge Brizard would be willing to come off mute and turn on her mic, and we'll work our way around the room after that.
Thank you. They wouldn't let me get off mute. I don't know why, right? No, I just, my colleagues at the Wayne County Circuit Court bench have been so amazing, and especially those in this group. I really admire all of you. I have enjoyed so much working with all of you. And I know that I won't be missing you. I know I'll be reaching out to each and every one of you for the special assistance that you've given in the areas that you've given it, and we'll be keeping in touch. I want to especially thank Judge Kenny, of course, for his service. He's the best. His temperament and ability have been so important to me throughout my entire career, from the day I came on and worked with him on the drug court through today. And you will be very much missed in not being here every single day, but I know you'll continue to assist us. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. I saw Robin McCoy from Black Women Lawyers of Michigan, if she'd like to come off mute.
Yes, thank you, Zanelle. Thank you to the Detroit Bar Association for putting this together. I want to thank all the judges. You know, I've been practicing 20 years, and 17 of the 20 years I've been at all the courts, but primarily I've been at Frank Murphy. And I started at Lada. So I was before Judge Groner, Judge Kenny, Judge Shalinsky, and Judge Hathaway. And it's just been a really beautiful, a growing experience for me. Always wanted to do criminal defense. And I have a firm out of Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County, but I wanted to get accelerated exposure, and I got it in Wayne County. And the judges, you guys helped to guide me in that process, and I continue to do the indigent defense. And I just appreciate all of you. And even I haven't practiced before Judge Murphy, but I've heard a lot of really good things about you. So for all the judges, I just want to thank you for all that you've done. I want to thank you on behalf of Black Women Lawyers Association of Michigan. And, I know Judge Kenny came out and did some programming with us. And so I definitely appreciate that, and appreciate all of you for your words of wisdom. And I just hope you guys enjoy your retirement. So thank you.
And our current DBA president, Paul Millenbach, is on. Paul, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you, Zanel, and congratulations, all of you, all of the judges. And I've certainly enjoyed my career in front of you, especially Judge Groner, over the last couple of years. And I've always appreciated your patience with all the attorneys and observed them over the years, not only in the courtroom, but on Zoom. And you're just guided decisions that have been very, very beneficial to all the practitioners. And certainly Judge Kenny in the last couple of months, especially working with me as a president of the Detroit Bar Association. It's been a pleasure. Thank you most recently for the swearing in ceremony. That was an excellent ceremony that you put on. And Judge Murphy, of course, over the years, I've always appreciated your cases, your patience, working with you hard and settling cases to everyone's benefit. And again, I appreciate all of your patience with me and my clients as well over the years. So thank you very much.
So there's about 5 pages of participants. I know I can't pull out all the bar associations, all the judges and everything like that. So I'm going to ask if you would like to say something, that you unmute yourself and go ahead and speak, and just try to be respectful and so we don't interrupt each other too much.
Well, I'm never shy. Let me start my video. I say thank you to our departing leaders. Gentlemen, we have been blessed by working with you on the team, providing justice to the people with matters before the court. I recall fondly appearing before Judge Murphy. And then when I came to the bench, seeing him take his trial bag and wheeling it out full of motions for summary disposition. Judge Shelinski is truly a delight. He's a man who enjoys himself, enjoys others, but has a deep, caring, and considerate heart. Judge Groner, we hope that you'll continue to aid in the mission of the court by resolving cases, or at least I do. You are a person possessed of an incredible ability to relate with the lawyers and encourage them towards the path of settlement. It's very difficult to successfully appeal a settlement, I'm told. Judge Hathaway, our time together was brief, but truly a lion of the bar and the bench. Then finally, all hail the chief. Judge Kenny, you have been an incredible mentor to each of us. Your service is frankly above and beyond anything anyone could expect. Perhaps your first novel could be Law in the Time of COVID. Apologies to Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and Love of the Time of Cholera. So I can only toast you with coffee. So here's to you. Thank you for a job well done.
Your Honors, this is Todd Hulleman. In my 20-some years of practice, a lot at Miller Canfield, now at Miller Johnson. I've appeared before several of you on different matters and different cases over the years, not in the criminal area, but civil area primarily, and I just want to thank you all for your service.
Yeah, I'm going to chime in. Judy Suskin with Summer Schwartz. I've been practicing for almost 35 years, or maybe it's been 35, but I have fond memories of Judge Murphy trying my Shinholster case, which maybe some of you know is a famous civil case for various issues. But that was a 3-week trial, and it was my first in excess of $1 million verdict that I ever got as a med mal lawyer. And so Judge Murphy, I will never forget that trial or you, not just for that case, but I have fond memories. Judge Groner, I want to send you off with sadness because you are a fabulous trial judge, having recently settled a very large malpractice case for me with tremendous effort. I know someone just mentioned how he's probably going to be called upon to help resolve cases, but I echo his abilities to do that. He's been a tremendous judge. All of the judges retiring, I wish you all the best, but just those couple personal notes from those experiences with Judge Groner and Judge Murphy. Thank you all.
Thank you.
This is Don Frizard. I just wanted to say that Judge Kenny, your leadership during the last few years with the uncertainty and fear from the pandemic, is a difficult time for anybody to lead. It's always a difficult time to lead public employees, but particularly in a time like that. And I think that it was masterful the way that you handled that. You're always there. When you were the chief judge at Frank Murphy, you're always extremely firm but helpful, and we moved a lot of things forward there. Tom Hathaway, it was nice working with you. It was always nice to talk to you. We'd end up outside after work talking for a half an hour. Murphy appeared in front of you a couple times, and I always found you to be wonderful and courteous. And Judge Groner, I mean, where's there ever going to be another Judge Groner? And I thought you did a good job. When you came to civil, I thought that you really, for not having had any prior experience in that, you took like a duck to water, and the lawyers all said good things about you when you were in both divisions. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you for your service, and I look forward to seeing you at the Christmas parties.
Hi, I'm Lisa Coyle. I'm formerly from the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. I was an assistant prosecutor proudly for 32 years. And when I left, I was in the trial division and worked very closely for 12 years. I was a docket attorney for Judge Kenny. I known Judge Kenny for, I think, since I was in law school. So we became friends as assistant prosecutors. He was a mentor. I've always looked up to him. He's not only a fine jurist, but a good friend and somebody that I've worked with and respected and admired for 34 years. So I will miss you because you taught me a lot when I was trying homicide cases, other cases in front of you. We worked together. You will be missed, and I hope we keep in touch. As well as Judge Groner. I've known Judge Groner when he was a defense attorney, and we were both younger attorneys starting out. And he's not only a fine judge, he's a great person, a nice person to work with. I've enjoyed working with him for 34 years as well, and I will miss seeing you both. And Judge Hathaway, you were in the building. I didn't get to work with you as much personally, but we've had many fine discussions on the back elevator. You will be missed in the criminal division. And I know that Judge Shelinski is not here, but Judge Shelinski, I was not only his docket supervisor for 12 plus years, I also worked in his arraignment courtroom for several years, training assistant APAs, and he as well, not only his personality and his ability to resolve cases, he will be surely missed by the criminal bench. I hope the best for all your future endeavors. And as I surely can say for everybody else, you will be truly missed as jurists on this bench. And congratulations to Judge Brizard on her new position. Thank you.
Hi there, Tiffany Ellis from Whites and Luxembourg. I'm also a Detroit Bar Association president. And while I have not had the opportunity to practice in front of all of you, I would be remiss if I did not thank Judge Groner for being a great trial judge for one of my first jury trials, which similarly lasted 3 weeks. I know I was a different lawyer after that trial, and I'm thankful for the path of growth that set me upon. I'd like to thank Judge Kenny for your service as well, and all of the judges here for your both being role models and your public service, and congratulate Judge Brizard in her incoming leadership role.
In addition to the current judges and bar associations, I see some former judges, I see new judges, I see administrators and staff. Please feel free to come off mute and join in.
This is Don Fazard again. And sorry, I overlooked Judge Shalinski. Judge Shalinski always was a lot of fun. It kept things moving along. And I also wanted to congratulate Judge Fazard on her well-deserved appointment and the start of her term as the Chief Judge of the Wayne County Circuit Court.
Are there others?
Dave Cannon here, Assistant Attorney General. Many of you that I've appeared before in recent years, you know how much respect I have for you and the privilege it's been to appear before you, and how much I've learned in the humanity of comments that you've made from the bench to me, and I appreciate that. And so I'll just address my comment very quickly to Judge Kinney, because I haven't had the privilege of serving before him in very recent years. But 42 years ago, 41 years ago perhaps, he said to me, as he was head of Prosecutors Repeat Offenders Bureau of the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and I was a somewhat new attorney at that time, he said, I heard you're doing a really good job down here. I think I was working 36th District Court, basement, Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. And I remember that to this day. There's been many comments since that time, many from the other judges that are on this panel right now. And I'd like to thank you. It's all for the betterment of justice, and it's been a privilege working with you.
Okay, going once. Going twice.
Quick question. Is there any way that we can talk all of your retiring judges into just staying on another 5 years, please?
I second that motion.
I don't see any hands. Show of hands. Anyone?
Well, there is a state constitution of 1963 issue.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been a pleasure, and God bless to all of you. Enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
So I'll conclude us. On behalf of the Detroit Bar Association, we thank you. We thank you, Judge Kinney. We thank you, Judge Groner. We thank you, Judge Murphy. We thank you, Judge Hathaway, and we thank you, Judge Shalinski. You have definitely helped us deliver quality services to our community. You have been very active in our legal community. You have been the role models. You have inspired us to do our best, whether we're practicing law, whether we're inside the court delivering services. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you to the Detroit Bar Association for partnering with the Third Circuit Court so we could have this opportunity just to record a couple of words of wisdom from our judges, and also to record the sentiments and the acknowledgments that those of us who are in the profession and in the courts definitely wanted to share. So I return you to the rest of your afternoon. The recording will be available on the Detroit Bar Association. We'll even have the transcript there from all the comments to share with our judges. And as someone said, I believe it was Judge Haggerty, we raise our coffee mugs in your honor. We wish you the best, and thank you for all that you've done.
Hear, hear. I'll give a woohoo. Back to work.